guy. So yesterday, okay, it was actually on Sunday. I caught a very good trade on BTC, and the trade gave me over 5.7 risk to reward self. That is even close to 6 risk to reward. So it was a very very nice and simple trade. And as you know, I'm also going to explain to you guys how I got this entry on this BTC. So before I start, I will show you the before of the trade. As you can see, this is after the trade. So I'll show you before the trade, show you my PNL to also show that I entered the trade. So it's not just about coming out here and saying like explaining. So I take the trade, analyze the market, I like analyze the trade, enter it, and also come and explain to you guys how the trade went. So I'm going to show you how I got this trade. So, but first of all, I'm going to show you. As you can see, this was before the trade. That was actually on Sunday that I analyzed this trade, and this was it. You can see it. So, and I'm also going to show you my entry price. As you can see, look at the entry price here, 114,569. All right. So, look at my entry price, 114,969, and that is exactly what was here. So this is not 114,569. So because I actually used to set limit order, so once I set limit order after analyzing I place limit order and just wait for it to trigger. So this was it when I analyzed the market. BTC was around 115,000 that day, like that on Sunday. And on Monday, it triggered. I was not even around when it triggered. And I just came back and saw that the trade has already started moving. So I'm going to explain to you guys how I got the entry as usual. So I'll just go back to my trading view right now. So normally I even without having to mark it out, I'll see what I need to see, and all I just need to do is place my long position too. But for the sake of you guys, I'm going to explain to you guys how I got that entry. All right. So if you notice, you see that BTC has been pushing up. When you even take it to, let's go to 2 hour time frame, you can see that BTC has been bullish. All right. So as BTC has been bullish, all you just have to be looking out for is buy, 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 buy. You just have to be looking out for buys, 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 buys. So I came to my 30 minutes time frame. So when I've already known my buyers, so I don't need to start looking out for sales. I just need to look out for where can I buy from. All right. So what's the first step? The first step is to know the direction of the market. Is the market buying or is the market selling? So once you know, okay, the market is buying, then you should be looking out for buys. All right. Even down on Sunday, I knew BTC was going to come up, and if I'm not disciplined on my rules, I was supposed to take the sell. It could have gone my way, but the rule is that look for the direction of the market. Is it going up or down? And once it's going up, you should be looking out for buys, buys. So that is exactly the first rule of this strategy. So you go to your higher time frame, like the 2 hour time frame or 4 hour time frame, you check out for the direction of the market. So once you know the direction of the market, then you go down to your 30 minutes or 45-minute time frame. That is the lowest I go to. I don't go to 15 minutes or 5 minutes. I'm not a scalper, so my minimum is 30 minutes. I go to my 30 minutes usually. Then I look for my entry. So now, when you have already know that okay, now I'm buying, you should just be looking out for buy. Then the next thing is where are you buying from? All right. So I'll go back to that the screenshots before I continue explaining. All right. You can see this was the trade. All right. So okay now. So when you see that BTC is going up. All right. So then then now mark out where is the liquidity, or some people call it inducement. All right, and that is where you see me marking out here with dollar, dollar, dollar. That is a sign for liquidity. All right, so I mark out here as my liquidity. So the first rule of the strategy is know your direction. Then the second rule is mark out your liquidity even before choosing your point of interest. All right, mark out where is the liquidity line. All right, once you have marked out the liquidity, then before deciding the point of interest, before deciding your point of interest. All right, so I mark out my liquidity here. Then the first rule for the strategy after marking out your liquidity is to choose your point of interest, which is your point of interest should be the closest the closest point of interest close to like your liquidity. I'm sure I'm not sure if you understand. Like the closest entry, because my entry is usually order block or breaker block. Alright, so between order block and breaker block, the closest one to my point of entry, that is what I'm picking at, and that is where I'm entering from. So that is exactly what I did here. That is exactly what I did here. I mark out. Sorry. The first rule of the strategy is your knowing your directional bias. Then when you know okay, it's going up or going down, then you mark out your break of structure. So I didn't mark it out here because I already seen it, alright. So this is a break of structure. You mark out your break of structure. This is your break of structure or your change of character. Anyone. This is your break of structure. This is another break of structure. So I will be identifying everything now for you guys' sake so that you can understand what I did here. So this is a break of structure and there's another break of structure here. So normally some people are going to buy from here because when the market they break of structure, so they see okay, the market has break structure here and they will just come and mark out the other block here. This is a valid order block with a fair value gap. But did it work? No. Why didn't it work? Because there is not enough liquidity and it's liquidity that move the market. So when it tap this other block, you see it go like it went up, came down because the market have not collected enough liquidity and now the liquidity that is what will move the market. So since there's enough liquidity because liquidity is like the fuel that moves the market. What is liquidity? Liquidity is money. Market need money to move. Alright, so because there is not enough liquidity here, so it went up and it suddenly came down again. Then it went up, then came down and swept liquidity here. So when the market swept liquidity, there was enough money to push the market up, and as soon as it swept the liquidity, it started going up, going up, going up, and that is how it hit our take profit. All right. So to learn this strategy, you need to be very, 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 like, you need to open your eyes very well to be able to identify where the liquidity is. That is one of the main, like, the difficult thing in this strategy, because once you're able to identify your liquidity, then the rest is just, you are just, the rest is just it's like very, very simple, right? So the first thing now is to know your directional bias, because you need to follow the trend. You need to follow the trend. They say when you cannot beat them, you do what? You join them. Your money is not enough to move the market. So if your money is not enough to move the market, you should be trading against the people that have big money. Right? So that is trading with $100, $200. Even though you are trading with $100,000, you can't still move the market. All right. So you can't trade against the trend. You follow the trend. All right. So know your directional bias. Is the market going up? Let's say now that BTC is pumping now, you are looking for shorts. You are just trading against the trend, and you are going to lose. All right. So the first thing is to identify, like, know your structure, like where is the market going. Yeah, if you're in the beginning class, you learn something that you call structure, all right? Because how the markets move. So when you identify, okay, now the market is going up, then you identify where is your break of structure. Then after identify your break of structure or change of character, then you mark out your liquidity. After marking out your liquidity, choose your point of interest, and that is it. So let me remind you again the rules for the strategy. Know the directional bias, number one. Mark out your break of structure or change of character, number two. Then mark out your inducement, number three. Then your point of interest, number four. It's just as easy as that. So that is it for today, guys. Thank you. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share also to your friends so that they can benefit from this knowledge I'm sharing to you guys for free.